All right, welcome to the Sports Guys. Another weekend recap, another incredibly packed weekend of sports, all kinds of things going on. I thought that in the post-Olympic kind of pre-playoff period, we'd be a little bit bereft of things to talk about, but it's definitely not true. There's a lot of things happening. How you doing, Robbie?
I'm doing great. Really good. So much sports. Just keep it rolling.
That's right. That's right. We just came off our fantastic family ski trip. We had a blast. We skied, we tubed, we played games, we ate a lot of
Yeah.
food. We had a big announcement in the family, which was really cool. So, thoughts about the
Yep.
trip we had this weekend, Robbie?
Proud of those family members. Also, we had a really good time. It felt pretty relaxed, even though it was only it was a weekend.
Hmm.
So that always feels a little, fast. But yeah, we had a really nice time and finishing off with tubing. Not only was the tubing really good, but it was not very crowded as much
Hmm.
as last couple of years. So
We
the
got more
tubing
runs in.
you get
Yeah.
more runs in and
Hmm.
we got and it was a little slower, so they let us pair up, six of us,
Hmm.
and so that we got going really nice and fast.
That was fun.
But it was
That's the
just a lot
first
of
time I've
fun.
ever
Good
gone
time.
over four. How about you? Have you ever done over four before?
No,
I've never seen
never.
that
I've
before.
never seen them let you because you go barreling into the sandbags at the bottom.
Hmm.
But that was really good time. Really, really
Because it was a
fun.
warm day, the snow was a little slower, so I think that's why they let you do it. But
Yeah. But because they overcompensated by letting us have more people that we could stack together, we went just as fast.
we also found a really great new Airbnb house we never stayed at before. That was super cool.
Yeah.
Location was amazing and had everything we needed. So,
Yeah.
thoughts about themes from the
So
weekend in terms of sports?
so while we were busy on the slopes and et cetera, there was a whirlwind of sports that is just so much going on that it was hard to catch up to, but it was so fun. A lot of great stuff. The combine, I really got into that a lot and tried to track, so much stuff. I mean, look behind you. There's a myriad of events. Michael Jordan, um, and NBA action, hockey like crazy, all kinds of stuff. So
College
college basketball,
basketball, some of the
yeah,
best games on Saturday. Yeah.
really big. One of the biggest lineups of basketball games I can remember, not including, March Madness or something, but that
Hmm.
Saturday it was just game after game all the way until midnight, really.
Hmm. I
They
will say the
started,
NFL has done a good job of turning the combine into an event. I mean,
yeah,
it used to be pretty boring. It would be in the middle of the night. They play it on replay. Now they do it live. They do it day after day after day. People watch it on NFL Network, and they watch these incredible athletes do things that no one else can do. It's not just a 40-yard sprint anymore or the 100-yard sprint. It's the jumping. It's the long jumps. It's the
yeah.
jumping up and tapping something way high so you can see what their vertical leap is. It's them bench pressing. It's their interviews. It's quite an event. I mean, it really sets up the
Yeah.
draft in a lot of ways.
There's a lot of information that they glean from this, and every player gets a draft score, a combine score, and it takes into account all kinds of factors, and it compiles how everyone did, and that includes the interviews and everything else. And the scores were amazing. I mean, I'll just summarize it by saying that I've heard a lot of pundits and sports people that I respect talk about how this is not a great draft year, and there's no way I could disagree with that more. The combine was one of the greatest combines ever. The athletes were so incredible.
They
They were
were.
setting
I
all
agree.
kinds of records in every position. Like one of the fastest running backs of all time, fastest tight end of all time, fastest running back of all, quarterback of all time, fastest. I mean, it was as a group, everyone was faster, stronger, and could jump out of the gym. There were linemen that were jumping like as high as Vince Carter.
Hmm. I know.
You know what I mean?
Can you even
It's crazy.
can you even fathom how great these athletes are? I mean, just watching them do
No,
simple things like a long jump, which is something most of us can't
yeah,
do, and they're long jumping like Olympians.
like Olympians. Yeah.
It's crazy. The
Yeah, they're
incredible.
going like this guy's running as fast as Jahmyr Gibbs, but also he's pumping iron like Aaron Donald, and he's, and it's like,
Yeah,
what? Like, what is
yeah,
going on?
I
It
know.
is so amazing. There's no way somebody could convince me that this is not an incredible draft class, maybe one of the best we've ever seen. I
Now,
mean, just think of just the Ohio State players alone, just from they might have 5 players in the first round picked. That's never
mhm,
happened before.
mhm.
The quality of the players being drafted is so high that we're so drawn to just quarterback play that if it's
Mhm.
not a big quarterback class, it's not a good draft class. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Every single position group in this
Now,
draft
now we
is
ha
deep.
now we have to remind everybody that that never translates necessarily into performance on the field. A lot of
No
times, the best
question.
athletes are not the best football players, and so
No question.
that's the thing that the GMs need to decide, and that's what they need to figure out, and that's why they're paid the big bucks, is to figure out these guys that are such freak athletes, which ones will actually have a great 10-year NFL career. That's the key.
But I agree. But I think part of what happens is um, the scouts fall into the idea of brand, right? And so they will put somebody in there who they're familiar with, that they trust. Somebody who's been there and done it 3 years is more trusted than somebody who's done it one. So there can be a lot of misleading factors. And when they go get to see them at the combine and they see what they're physically made of, sometimes everything reorders
Mhm.
is put in a completely different scope. So I like the combine because I think it
Oh,
really
I do
tells
too.
you the amount of athletes in this draft is off the chart. I mean, you could take half the linebackers and make them safeties. You could take half the safeties, make them corners. You could take the running backs and make them safeties. You could take the tight ends and make them wide receivers. I mean, it's unbelievable. The quarterbacks, half of them could be tight ends or wide receivers.
It's true.
Um,
There's
you know, the,
incredible athletes at every position, including quarterback.
they're amazing. A lot of them are sports stars, but their metrics are unbelievable. It's because they're staying in school longer and they're physically just becoming at their peak. They're arriving at the NFL in their peak. There's fewer and fewer projects.
Well,
The biggest project,
they're 3 years beyond where they used to go to the NFL, so they're so much more
right,
mature. Yeah.
right. The biggest projects you see are the quarterbacks, and that's because they have so much to learn.
Mhm.
It's all
Now,
mental. So
now, as much as we love it and geek out on it, we love football, and I love the combine. I can watch hours of it. There's another trend that's happening that is concerning, and that is that you've got more and more of the top 10 picks that don't participate. And if they do come, all they do is take the physical. They don't participate in any of the drills. They don't do anything. So, what is
okay,
your thought about that? Like Mendoza said that
I'm okay with it.
the reason he Mendoza said he's not coming is because he wants to do his Indiana Pro Day, and he did it for a very unselfish reason. He said he wanted to get more attention for his guys, for the guys who are kind of right on the border of being
Yeah,
drafted or not drafted. And he said that, those wide receivers, those running backs, those linebackers, those guys who might be sixth and seventh round type guys, he wanted to give them some play on his pro day. So I thought that was
for
pretty
for
cool. I like that.
For Mendoza, that's simple. It's very simple. If you're a top 3 or 4 pick, you shouldn't do any of this stuff because you could have all you could do is go down. Like, the point of the combine is to try to elevate your stock. That's the only reason you go. If you can't go any higher, you don't go.
And by the
There's
way, there
no
were a lot of
reason.
guys who did that, including Cade Klubnik, who, had a
Tom,
terrible
I
year
got
last
four
year.
I got
Yeah.
4 pages of notes
Yeah.
of people who went to the combine and blew the
Right.
doors off athletically.
That's right.
And so many, this guy rose, and that guy was way better than expected, and this guy was way faster, and this guy was way more physical, and this guy jumped as high as Vince Carter, and this guy ran, faster than whatever any running back has ever run. It's
Mhm.
like
I know. It's
unbelievable. I
pretty
loved it.
incredible.
I got
So,
four pages of notes, and it's only the tip of the iceberg.
So another
There's so
story
much
we'll
information.
cover, you've already touched on, is the Michael Jordan
Yeah.
racing story. He owns a team with Denny Hamlin. It's a team he's only owned for 2 years. He's essentially the financial backer of this team. He said he
Hmm.
always admired Joe Gibbs, and actually he and Joe Gibbs know each other. What's interesting is Denny Hamlin drives for Joe Gibbs under contract, but then partially owns the Michael Jordan 23 team. And
Mm.
so it's kind of a weird conflict of interest because Denny Hamlin has to be partially happy that his driver is winning three in a row, like we're about to talk about. But then
Yeah.
he's competing against him for the Joe Gibbs team. So I don't know. It's a weird situation in NASCAR where that can happen. But
Yeah, there's nothing really like that in any other sport. I mean,
But what a remarkable story. I mean, Michael
yeah,
Jordan, new owner, comes in and does something that's never happened in NASCAR history, which is to lead off the year with the first three wins. It's just never happened. They're calling it the
yeah.
three-peat. And it's really
It's
remarkable.
unbelievable.
There's so many things that can happen in a NASCAR race to knock you off. There's so many little tweaks and little, putting the tires on right and the stops for gas and all the different things that can happen that can derail you. The penalty
Yeah,
lap. And the fact that he was able to pull this off is really remarkable.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I'm not sure that we've seen a crossover athlete do that before. We thought it was amazing when Joe Gibbs won several
Hmm.
um, championships over many, many years, but to
Hmm.
come out like this is, I think it's unprecedented. I'm not aware of anything happening quite like that.
Incredible. And then in college basketball, the big trend I saw was the top five and top 10 teams are far and above everybody else. We saw this last year where the Cinderella dance that it used to be, the March Madness situation was not as much madness as we were used to. Had all four number one seeded teams go to the Final Four, and we had way fewer upsets than we're used to. And it looks like that's happening this year. It looks like those top 10 teams are solidly the
Yeah.
best teams. And really, the top five teams look almost unbeatable.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's almost always some unpredictability to it, which is why everyone loves March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think that most people feel kind of like I do, and not because I don't feel like they do, but I think that they would agree with this. Most people want to see upsets in the first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you want chalk. You want the best teams to make it. Having teams go in like Florida Gulf Coast and then get blown out when they face
George
one of the
Mason.
top seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not particularly fun to watch.
Although people like the Cinderella story of it, they
The
do
the
like that part.
best the best is to have the upsets early in the tournament,
Mm-hmm.
have everybody bust out of their brackets, and then have the Kentuckys of the world and the blue bloods take care of business.
And in the
And then you have an
semifinals,
incredible matchup.
you have Duke, Florida, and
Mhm.
you have Arizona, Yukon, that kind of thing. Yeah.
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 And then all's right in the world again. And you got the best of both worlds. You had
But
those
there
amazing
are,
upsets, and then you also have incredible semifinals and finals. And that's really the best thing
you
that can
say
happen in
that,
March
but the
Madness.
casual fan who doesn't really follow college basketball until it gets to around Elite Eight and who just does their office pool, the casual fan, they would much prefer to see the Florida Gulf Coast. They think it's much more interesting than UConn every
Yeah.
single year, Duke every single year.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting, but what happens is these teams summon up everything they have. They have the best three shooting day of their entire year and of their entire lives. And they knock off, a four seed or something, and they go through, and then they run into a one seed and get annihilated by 30 points. It's an embarrassment,
yep,
and everyone turns it off by halftime, and that's not good for basket. That's not good for the excitement of the tournament. So
it's true.
last year was great. I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
it's what you want. You have upsets, and then you also have everybody who's a blue blood get control and take over again. So
100% true. Let's go ahead and dive into the material. Here we go.
let's go. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do a shout out to our newest sponsor, and that is DoorDash. We're really happy to have DoorDash as part of the Sports Guyz family. I actually used it 2 nights ago when I came home from our ski trip, and I had a great time ordering from DoorDash. They got here in 35 minutes. You can contact them on their online app. You can contact them on their website. They're really, really fast and they're really efficient, and the service is great. Robbie, what do you think of DoorDash?
Not only do we use it for convenience sake, but there are a lot of times when we use it for bigger shoppings. You forget one or two things at the store, or you have no time. Like tonight, I just used it about 10 minutes ago. Needed two things, and don't have time to go to the store. And it couldn't be easier. You can do a whole bunch of series of things. You can look up by product. You can look it up by store that you want to use. It's so easy to use. It's so convenient. The fees are very reasonable. It just costs a few dollars for me to tack on for the convenience. It's really a fantastic service, and I just we love it. And then we have game nights sometimes. We'll just need more salsa, and actually we get our waters that way. We'll do one of our local stores that we really like. We'll dial them up and pull that up, and we'll order a huge stash of waters, and before you know it, it's sitting on our front porch, and it's just so good. And I bring them all in, and then we have water for the next week and a half.
That's fantastic. You know, it's cool.
Yeah,
They started as a food delivery service, and they're the best at that, and they're by far the most popular.
fantastic.
But
Yeah.
they now do, like you said, do groceries. I have a neighbor who's the neighbor to my left in my neighborhood, and every single time she does a huge shopping, we're talking like $250 or more, she has DoorDash go pick it up for
Yeah.
her. She doesn't even have
Yeah.
to go pick it up. So she orders it
All summer,
online, and then they go pick it up and they bring it right to her door.
all summer we order DoorDash to the pool. Pizzas arrive. When we have friends over, constantly everyone's just door dashing and has dinners arriving, pastas from, Noodles and Company or whatever. And it's just so cool. And it's such a good idea and such a great service. The way they do it is simple and easy, and it's just the best. I mean, it's so good.
So, guys, try DoorDash tonight. You can check them out at
All right.
DoorDash.com or go download the app on your phone and order, and you will absolutely love the service.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
See you next time. All right, this is our episode 116 weekend recap. We're going to talk about the NFL Combine. We're going to talk a little bit about NASCAR and the Michael Jordan team, and we're going to give some basketball updates from college basketball and the NBA. You can see those great pictures Rob was referring to there on the left of these guys who are just horsing around to the combine. These unbelievable athletes that can do things that none of us can do. I mean, Robbie, it just is
Amazing.
amazing. I could sit here and watch these guys all the time, the things that they can do physically.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool to see. You see in the middle there, the number one team in the country, the Duke Blue Devils, and Mr. Cameron Boozer. We had Coach K this week come out and say something I think is pretty controversial. He said he thinks this is by far the best freshman that Duke has ever had, and that includes the guy they had last year, which, of course, we know he went number
It
one
was
in the
better.
NBA. And so, Cameron Boozer, what do you think about that statement that K said that he thinks he's by far the best freshman Duke's ever had?
I think it'd be hard to make the case, but I think that he probably believes it. So it's fine. How can you can't disprove it either. So it's fine. He's up there. He's top five,
You
I
have
would say.
Cooper Flag last year. You have
Zion.
Cameron Boozer's dad 20 years ago. You have Zion. There's a lot of guys you could put up
There's a
against.
lot.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
think,
not going to question Coach K was there for all of it. He recruited all of it. So if he says so, it's fine.
yeah,
But the important thing isn't that. The important thing is this team as good as they have appeared? Are they beatable?
yeah. I don't
You
know.
know, they're
I'm
they're
not,
kind of not beatable right now.
I will say Duke and Arizona are the two best teams. I think there's no question about that. And I think
Yes.
that they still are beatable because they have to go through a gauntlet of 6 straight games. And you can have an off shooting night. It happens. And you can
Yeah.
get beat, 62-61. It can happen. So is it possible? Yes. Do I think it's become less likely in the last couple of years with NIL that these big programs get knocked off? Yes, I do think it's less likely. So, I'm saying, the
Yeah.
top 10 teams should be in the Elite Eight. That's what it looks like to me. So
Yeah.
then you see a picture there of Cade Cunningham. The hottest team in the NBA right now is the Detroit Pistons, and they just continue to be smoking hot.
Yeah,
They've
he's so good.
really been incredible. They've been blowing out Eastern opponents by 18 and 20 points every night.
Hmm.
So it's been really fun to watch Detroit as they peak. It really looks like they have a good shot to go to the finals, I think. And then, of course, the Michael
Yeah.
Jordan team we've talked about there on the right. So what an exciting thing for him and Denny Hamlin. Let's talk about the combine. So here's some of the big headlines.
Yes.
Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Banks rise in post-combine edition. That was one of the headlines. We also had Pride speeds into the spotlight. Missouri cornerback Toriano Pride surprised the whole NFL combine and himself after his 4.32 second 40-yard dash on Friday, which stands as the second fastest at the combine this year. So this guy just came out of nowhere. No one ever heard of him before, Toriano Pride, and he's completely helped himself, like you talked about. Some of these guys have.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't teach speed. And also, there's
Exactly.
another thing. I heard an interesting thing about why linemen have to run it. And it has nothing to do with their actual speed. They're not going to be running downfield
Right.
blocking 40 yards.
Right.
The reason is that they've proven medically that it has a lot to do with your joints. If you're able to run really fast, your hip joints and everything are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's working as it's supposed to. When you're maximizing your shoulders, your hips, all that stuff. If you're a lineman who's overweight and you're having bad hips, they're going to find it out when you're running your 40.
Mm-hmm. It's a really
So
good
the 40-yard dash is really a barometer of how healthy you are, even if you're over like an overweight lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the linemen run it for a different reason. They're not going to have to. Obviously, quickness is important even as a lineman because if you're not fast, you're not going to pull.
It's
They're
true.
not going to pull you across because the whole play won't work right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will break down. The Reuben Baines of the world will collapse it and get through and annihilate your running back.
You
Um,
talk about all the time about Jim Harbaugh says that an offensive lineman's a weapon. And
he's a
so
weapon. Yeah,
he looks at them as a really great athlete, and they are. They are
that's
great
right.
athletes,
They
especially
are,
a
and
left
they're getting
tackle.
better and better.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable now. I mean, some
Yeah.
of them are incredibly huge men, and they taper down into like not so enormous legs, and they're quick. So it's
Mhm.
they look like hybrids, you know. But
So
yeah,
another
amazing.
another highlight here: tight end hits new heights. Vanderbilt's tight end Eli Stowers really
Yep.
turned a lot of heads with his vertical jump record for tight ends going back to 2003. So he literally shattered every record. Like you said, this combine really did have a lot of records set at almost every
Yeah.
position. So
Yeah.
really cool. And I think a lot of people are
Every
thinking,
position group, every position group overperformed. And so the idea that they're not going to be good football players, I can't prove that they are yet. But I just, in my gut, I believe that we're looking at um, another group of misinterpreted
but and by the
um,
way, this guy was one
drafts.
of this guy was one of Pavia's favorite tight end targets last year, and
Sure.
he's sitting at 6'5", and he can jump like this, like out of the
Yeah.
gym,
I saw him jump out of the gym, man.
and he
I
already
saw it.
has a huge vertical leap, and he also
Yeah.
has a huge catch radius already. So now they're looking at
But,
this team's like salivating over this guy. Think
but
about
the,
him
but the,
at the goal line. What you can do at the goal line with this guy.
right. But the
You know?
funniest part was that he wasn't the most impressive tight end.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Kenya Sadiq was the most impressive tight end,
No, Sadiq is
probably
incredible.
ever, probably
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah,
You
Sadiq
know,
was absolutely amazing, but they
he,
knew he was
he
amazing. Like he already was
yeah, I
up
know,
there.
but they did not know quite that he was like this. Like they were comparing him to DK Metcalf and stuff.
Yeah,
Like he just unbelievable. He had
freak.
yeah, he had the record 40 time for tight ends. He had incredible vertical, incredible broad jump, 11 feet 1 inch broad jump.
Hmm.
Everyone else was in the nines, Tom. That's 2 feet past anyone else.
That's right. So
11 feet.
the other guy who had a huge combine was this guy Dalen Everett, who was a five-star recruit out of
Hmm.
Florida, goes to Georgia, had an amazing 2 seasons, and then last year had a little bit of a fall off in production. He
Hmm.
only got third team All SEC honors last year, and they were kind of wondering about him. Well, he absolutely blew everybody away at this combine. Everybody's got Dalen Everett now way up high in the low first round pick area. So really exciting to see some of these guys, even the ones who were kind of expected to be good but had a fall off season, come into the combine and really help themselves.
Yeah.
So in terms of the top 15 picks coming out of the combine now, this is how they're ranking them. This is post-combine rankings. Fernando Mendoza, of course, 1. Ruben Bain, 2. Caleb.
The rankings I'm seeing are a lot different than that.
Well, this is what they have on NFL.com. So
Yeah,
Fernando Mendoza, 1. Ruben Bain, 2. Caleb Downs, 3. Arvell Reese, 4. Jeremiah Love, 5. He really
yeah,
helped himself, by the way. He came into camp at 10, so he went up 5
no
spots.
question.
Jordan Tyson, wide receiver
Yep,
from Arizona State, at 6. David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech.
yep,
Carnell Tate, sitting at 8.
yep. They're worried
Jam-
about his speed wasn't that impressive.
it
He might
wasn't
fall a
impressive
little, but he's a great player.
a little bit, but they do think he's going to be the second wide receiver picked after Tyson. So
Maybe.
he's an incredible receiver. Jermod McCoy, cornerback from Tennessee. Magoa, who's the big tackle from Miami. He's
Yep,
going to make one franchise really happy.
yep,
Spencer Fano, also a tackle from Utah.
yep,
Keldrick Falk, he's an edge rusher from Auburn. Peter Woods, defensive tackle Clemson.
yep.
Mansour Delaney, who's a cornerback from LSU. And then Sonny Styles, who we just mentioned, another linebacker from Ohio State. Any thoughts about these 15? Any that you think are too high, too low? Any that
So
are not
many thoughts.
included?
So many thoughts. Ruben Bain, they're worrying about his the length of his arms. He's they said that they believe that there are multiple edge rushers that are higher than him.
Mhm.
But he he's looking like he's gonna go uh, probably fourth in a pick.
He's got an incredible motor. This does not mean, by the way, this order is
The,
how they're going to go in the draft. That's not what they're saying.
the
They're saying
the Titans
prospect.
really like him, and they
Yeah.
think he's gonna get him. But his arms are 30 and 7/8 inches.
Hmm.
But they think that in Robert Sala's defense, he's going to thrive. So they think that it's a perfect marriage and perfect fit for him.
A lot of
Jordan
people think.
Tyson's probably going to be the number one wide receiver in the
Hmm.
class.
Agree. Yep.
And they're a little worried about his size and his durability. He does get some injuries. I also read that he kind of hurries routes up a little bit, but I think that's coachable and teachable.
Although
I think the two
he's a little bigger than JSN, and they compare him to JSN. They think he's that type of route runner
He's
in terms.
6'2", 203 pounds,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. But yeah, his durability
A lot of people think
is the biggest
Arvell
question.
Reese will actually go number 2 in the draft. Arvell Reese.
Yeah, I mean, he's the number one graded guy. Everyone received a grade, and he had the number one draft grade at 7.04 out of 10.
Hmm.
Everyone else was lower than that. But he's incredible. He's one of the 5 Ohio State players that are going to go in the top in the first round. He's 20 years old, so his body's still changing. He's looking like he's going to go to the Jets. He ran a 4.46 40 time, and he's an extremely explosive pass rusher.
Hmm.
Um, you know, but I think the two best players in the draft are Jeremiah Love first and Caleb Downs second. Caleb's a little bit banged up right now, a little meniscus issue. So
Well,
I think,
there's some teams apparently that are going to stay away from him because he doesn't just have a meniscus issue, which is not a big deal, but he also has a degenerative issue in one of his knees for his
yeah,
ACL, and they're thinking that he's going to have an ACL tear pretty soon after the season starts.
maybe,
So,
maybe.
so Caleb Downs, he will go top 10. I think he's going to drop a little bit. I think there's some teams that are worried about him
Yeah, I
because
agree.
he's already showing some degeneration in his knees. So
He's
we'll
so
see.
smart and so explosive, and he's such a
Yeah,
playmaker. He could play
yeah,
almost any position on the defense
he
except
can. He can.
defensive line. So he's good in run support. He knows what the quarterback's going to do. He's got experience. He played, you know, such an important role on the number one team the last 2 years in the country for the most part, except for Indiana. He was awesome. But
What's
yeah, so
interesting is
I think the
it's
best two
interesting.
players are Jeremiah Love and Caleb Downs.
Mhm. Possibly, possibly. Any other guys here that you want to
Yeah.
call out, or anybody in your notes who you think really
Oh
have
my
an?
gosh, so many notes. Yeah, so Mike Washington really helped himself. He did an incredible job. He's a running back for Arkansas. Arkansas really showed out. He's the second running back probably in the draft coming up. He is really catching the ball well. He's a powerful runner, and he was the best running back at the Senior Bowl. So not
Hmm.
only that, but he's 6'1", 223, and he's fast as anything. He ran a 4.33 40, which was the best running back time, and one of the best running back times ever. And he has a 39-inch vertical. It's interesting. I saw breakdowns of the results, and actually, what's funny is the 40 time was one of the last factors in terms of whether a pro succeeds.
Hmm.
And it's actually reverse importance. The more speed you need, the less the 40 time translates to being good in the NFL. I'll give you an example. The three best wide receivers last year were some of the slowest 40 times.
Hmm.
Nakua and Jigba and Amon-Ra St. Brown. All three were in
Hmm.
the 4.5, 4.6 range.
Hmm.
And there were a lot of receivers that ran faster than them, but they are so deadly on the field. For wide receiver and skill positions, 40 is a little less important. For the linemen, it's extremely important.
Hmm.
And it's also important for the quarterback because
It is.
quarterback is going to need to get out of that pocket sometimes, move with the pocket, to run for a first down and get themselves to safety. If you're really slow, you're not safe. You're
Hmm.
you're
It's true.
you're rumbling to try and get to the first. The guys are closing in on you. You're going to get hit really hard. So the 40 times were really important, but that they become the least important in terms of success in the NFL. Do you know what the most important factor for doing well in the NFL is?
What?
Vertical jump.
Wow.
Vertical jump. And this
That kind of
this
makes sense because it shows explosion. That's really what you're looking
explosion,
at. Hmm.
um, leg muscles, timing, all kinds of stuff, high pointing. And what's interesting is this class had some of the highest records in vertical jump that we've ever seen. And
Hmm.
so I think I'm telling you that we're looking at a really good class here.
You
Maybe
know
not
what?
so much quarterbacks, but
Quarterbacks
everything
know,
else.
but everything else, yeah, because they were
Everything
saying
else.
even running back was pretty thin. But when I think about it, Jeremiah
It's
Love,
not.
by the way, absolutely blew them away.
Yep.
Washington was a complete surprise as another running
Yep.
back. And then guess who else had a fantastic combine?
Washington did so well running the 40 that
Mo-
he started crying and everyone was like congratulating him.
That's
And it was
right.
such an emotional moment. That's
What
how
about
well he ran.
what about Jamari Taylor from Virginia, who had a fantastic
Yeah.
combine? And they said that they
Yeah.
think he's the best pass catching running back. And he didn't
Yeah.
even catch that many passes for Virginia. He's just a
Right.
really good athlete. So he's sitting there probably in the third or fourth position at running back. And I don't
Yeah.
know. They say it's not a deep running back class. I'm
We
not sure about that.
we haven't even talked about Sonny Styles much. I
I
mean,
know. Sonny
he
Styles.
went off. He went off.
Incredible.
He's 6'5", 243. He converted from safety to linebacker. He had a 43.5-inch vertical leap. 43.5 inch.
Unbelievable. Rob, think about this
That
defense. They had
that's 10
Caleb.
inches. That's 10 inches higher than a very good athlete.
You think about this defense. They had Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, and Sonny
I know.
Styles on the same
I know.
defense. That's
No, I
just
know.
bonkers.
Um,
Crazy.
he tied for second in the 40-yard dash
Hmm.
for linebackers, 4.46, and he did 11.2 standing broad jump.
Mm,
11.2.
just amazing.
Most of these good athletes were jumping nine feet. He's jumping 11
Right.
feet. I mean, this is
Amazing. I know.
incredible. Incredible. And then his brother does even better. Well, in some ways, runs the 40. His
Yeah.
brother, Lorenzo Styles, ran a 4.27 40.
Yeah. They're just incredible athletes. Rob, Sonny
Also,
Styles
Ohio
is
State.
Sonny Styles is a 6'5" linebacker. That just doesn't
I know.
happen.
I
You don't
know.
get 6'5" linebackers.
I know. I know.
He's
I'm
so
just telling
skilled.
you that this
Free.
combine was unbelievable.
It's a free. I can't wait to our draft episode now. I'm really excited about it.
I know.
Let's go look at the
So great.
quarterbacks according to NFL.com. They had Ty Simpson grade out the best coming out of the combine with
Yeah.
an A grade. He really helped himself because he kind of petered out at the end of the year for Alabama. People were kind of questioning whether he could really be a pro. And he really looked good. He was very solid. Drew Aller comes in second in the NFL.com rating with an A minus. Really
It's
helped
really
himself.
interesting because I have completely different ratings.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what NFL.com has it.
Yeah.
They've got Garrett Nussmeier 3 with an A minus.
Mm-hmm.
Also helped himself, played very well. Both Aller and Nussmeier needed a good combine because neither one of
Yeah.
them had the season that they wanted last
A
year.
disappointing season.
Cade Klubnik really helped himself.
Yeah.
A lot of people were thinking he might be kind of like a practice squad kind of guy, and now they're
There
saying
was
he's going to go late rounds, fifth,
there were
sixth.
a number of Clemson Tigers who helped themselves a lot. Click Klubnik at quarterback. They had a offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, and a cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
They did extremely well, and they're going to go up the draft boards because they put on a show that goes well with their tape.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happens is everyone analyzes, okay, these raw numbers are impressive. How does this compare with what you're seeing on the field?
You know what? I'm
And
not. I wasn't really.
in some ways, it makes the tape look better if you know that this guy's really fast.
You know what
You know,
amazes me? All four of these guys had something to prove. Literally, all four of them, and
yeah,
all four of them took this process seriously, and all four of them hired coaches to get ready for this combine. So that tells me they're all really
hmm.
serious about getting drafted. And so
What
that
what I'm
definitely
hearing is what I'm hearing is that the Mendoza's first and deserves to be first, and second is tied between Ty Simpson and Garrett Nussmeier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you got Drew Aller, and then you got Cade Klubnik.
Yep.
So that's not bad for a draft that's
Well,
not
and,
heavy in
and
quarterbacks.
Mendoza was not ranked here because he didn't participate, or else he
Right,
would have been. But yeah,
right. But
this
some
is
people are saying Ty Simpson is challenging him, and it's just not the case.
but I was just happy for those four guys because all four of them
Yeah,
had disappointing seasons and all four of them had something
right.
to prove, and they did.
Yeah.
Number 5 was Carson Beck, comes in at a B plus, had a decent combine, not great.
He had a
Taylor,
pretty good one because
yeah,
he did
wasn't bad.
extra work to overcome some of the objections of people thinking, well, you had 6 years or whatever,
And they said
and
that
we're still not sure about you. So,
they said he did
um,
really well in the interview phase, so that doesn't surprise me because he's a pretty smart guy.
yeah, yeah,
And that he actually was very open about talking about some of his shortcomings and his strengths. Like apparently he wasn't like all braggadocious. He was really trying to explain, some of his shortcomings knows he needs to work on. So I
yeah.
think that was good. Talon Green is 6 from Arkansas, comes in at a B plus. He's a real big
Well,
kid, 6'6".
now hold on a sec. We got to talk about him now. He set 3 quarterback records at the combine.
I know. The guy's
He ran a
incredible.
4.37 40. He had 11.2 broad jump
He's a
and
freak
four.
athlete. You know what they're worried about with him? They're worried that he's the next Richardson from the Colts. That
No, but
he's
he
an
ran way
incredible
faster than
athlete.
Richardson. He
I know.
graded out way better than Richardson in every category. He's a freak athlete, but he interviewed well. He did so well.
But
Like
can he be a
he shot
quarterback in the NFL?
he
That's the
shot
question.
up the draft boards,
Yeah.
and people just want to get him because he's such an athlete. They'll figure it out later.
He's a
But he had
project.
a
Yeah.
43.5 inch vertical leap.
Incredible athlete. Absolutely incredible athlete.
43 and a half.
Yeah.
He
He's like
set all these quarterback
he's
records, Tom.
basically Cam Newton. He really is. Cam
Well,
Newton from
they were
Auburn.
comparing him to all kinds of players, like
Yeah.
players that are position players.
Right.
Faster than Michael Vick, stronger than DK Metcalf. This, that, and it's like what?
He's an
Like
inch
what are?
shorter than Josh Allen, but he runs like Josh Allen. He throws like Josh Allen. He's
He's way
athletic.
faster than Josh Allen. You
Oh yeah.
know,
Yeah.
he set the all-time record. So
But Jalen Green
you know,
really helped himself. Comes in at 6th.
yeah,
7 is from Kansas, Jalen Daniels, another really great athlete. He's a
yeah,
little shorter than a lot of the other guys, so they're a little worried about his
hmm,
height. So one of the
yeah,
reasons he dropped is because they're concerned about that. He got a B grade. He's 7. 8 was Haynes King, who had a great 40 time and did a lot of explosive things on the field.
yeah.
He's
He
definitely
was
going to
like
get drafted.
Haynes King is like top 10 all time in the 40 for
Yep.
quarterbacks.
They said the one problem with
He's
him was his accuracy was showing that it's a little bit off at times, and even in some of the drills, he was missing guys. So,
Tom
reason
Haynes
he's
King
not
was
top five.
faster than Michael Vick.
I know, he's unbelievable. An incredible
That's
athlete.
just think about that for a second. He ran faster than Michael Vick is.
Think about how good these athletes are getting at the quarterback position. It's
I know.
incredible. Yeah,
It's
absolutely
insane.
astounding.
And by the way, he's 212 pounds, which means he can take
The
some
only
pounding.
reason he's not higher than 8 because he's such a freak athlete is because of his throwing. They're just worried about the
Yeah.
accuracy. So,
Well, he's a project, so you don't want to pick projects really, really high up. You want to
right.
take them later rounds where there's no pressure to force them onto the field and then
You're saying go get him
destroy their
for like
careers.
the Baltimore Ravens or something to back up Lamar Jackson for a couple of years, where he doesn't have to
Yeah,
play right.
exactly.
So Morton from Texas Tech comes in ninth. He gets a
Mm,
B minus. He
Gets a
had
little weaker here.
had a pretty disastrous end of the season and a really disastrous playoff. But pretty darn good quarterback. I think he's a project. He's the
I think
kind of
he's a
quarterback
project. I think he'll be fine.
store in your roster for a good team for like 2 or 3 years and try to develop him. That's the way I look at him. And then coming in at 14th, Diego Pavia. He got the worst grade on the board. He got a D
Mhm.
grade. Apparently, he was sassy. He was uncooperative. There were some drills he refused to do. He was missing guys over their heads. He was missing guys into the dirt. He ran a really poor 40 time. There were just a lot of things people were really worried about with him, and the attitude
Yeah.
especially. You talked about the attitude. I thought coming into this he would have been coached really clearly. You can't be like that. But apparently he really was kind of uncooperative the whole time. So did not help himself, and I'm agreeing with you now. I thought he was going to definitely get drafted, but I'm not so sure anymore.
No, he's not. He's not. You know
Yeah,
why? This was the final straw. He's being counseled by Johnny Manziel.
yeah.
That's his advisor.
I don't know what he was thinking of.
I have no clue. He
He's
should be
five.
kept on the opposite side of the planet from Johnny Manziel.
He's already unlikely to get drafted because he's 5'10" and he's small. Okay, and he's
Yeah.
probably going to get hurt a lot. Secondly, he has this attitude problem. And then finally, it's a situation where you have all these guys ahead of him that are much better freakish athletes that are 6'5" and that are just much better can't miss options.
Yeah.
And what's
He
crazy
should
is
go play in Canada.
yeah, he should. And he's a guy who came in second in the Heisman voting.
Hey, I got nothing against him. I'm just saying
I'm not either.
talent-wise, he should probably be in Canada.
To see him come only a couple of votes away from winning the Heisman, all the way down where he's not going to get drafted now, it's pretty precipitous
Mhm.
fall for this guy who had a great season. So
Now let's go back to Garrett Nussmeier. The reason that a lot of people feel like he's getting passed over is because he had a bit of a bad season. But what a lot of people didn't know was he had an abdomen injury
yes,
that he played with all year. And do you know what it must feel like to try and throw the ball with an abdomen injury?
hmm I can't imagine.
Terrible.
I
And
know.
so he tried to gut it out, no pun intended, but he wasn't very good. But I'm
Whereas
telling you,
whereas Aller just missed the whole second half of the season because of injury. He just missed it.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But I'm telling you, go look at Garrett Nussmeier in year 3, and that's what he's going to look like in the pros.
Right.
I think he's quarterback too.
I do too. 100%.
It's Mendoza, Nussmeier, Simpson, then Aller. I might take a flyer on Taylon Green.
I might too. He's that
He's
good an
he's
athlete.
that kind of an athlete, the kind
I
that
think he's going to be
comes
better than
around maybe
Richardson.
once in a lifetime at quarterback.
Saying he's going to be the next Richardson, I think that's pretty
No,
presumptuous. I don't agree with that. I think he's got
me
potential.
either.
I wouldn't start him the first couple of years though. He's not. He's a very unfinished product at
Well, I
quarterback.
wouldn't start any quarterback in the first year,
Yeah,
period. So,
exactly.
ever.
Exactly. So looking at Mel Kiper's big standouts from the combine, he had a couple. His first one, Robbie, right off the board was Mike Washington of
Yeah,
Arkansas.
we
He
talked
talked
about
about
him.
him. He said he was the most surprising guy in the entire
He
combine.
lit it up. Yeah, he was fast.
6'1", 223 pounds, and he said he didn't think anybody had improved his stock nearly as much in
Tom, what
Indianapolis
what
as
are they
Mike.
feeding them in Arkansas? You got Mike Washington at running back and Taylor Green at quarterback. What is going on?
I know. And why wasn't Arkansas better last year?
Why
That's my
wasn't
question.
Arkansas awesome?
Yeah, it's interesting. So you agree with that one, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Second guy was Zachariah Branch, who's a wide receiver from Georgia. He said that he had an okay year last year and that he wasn't really sure if he was going to get drafted before the combine, but runs a 4.35 40 and absolutely blew away every gauntlet drill, every standing long jump, everything they asked him to do. They were just blown away by this guy, Zachariah Branch. So he's one of those guys. He's very short. They're thinking he's going to be a slot receiver at 5'9", but kind of like a Tyreek Hill type. But he is a dynamic playmaker. He had a fantastic year 2 years ago, and he really thinks he helped himself here. So
Yeah.
watch Zachariah Branch. He thinks he's going to go
It's
second
not a
round.
very heavy wide receiver draft.
Right.
So that's helpful for him
And
because
guys like to have those slot guys who can go in motion all the time. That's this kind of
yeah.
guy. He's a slot guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Caden Proctor, the tackle from
Hmm.
Alabama. He's
Yeah.
6'7", 352, Robbie.
Yep. I know.
And he's running
He ran a
under 5 for 40. I mean,
5.2140.
yeah,
His vertical 32.5.
yeah,
32.5 at 352 pounds.
I
He can
know.
get up 32 inches off the ground.
You know what's crazy is he finished the year at 366 and he got down to 352 for the combine. He slimmed
I know.
himself down quite a bit.
Tom, his broad jump was 9 feet 1 inch
I know.
at 352.
He did 32 and a half inches on the vert. He has 33 and a third inch arms. I mean, his arms are huge.
I know.
He's going to be a great tackle. He really is.
Yeah.
Caden Proctor, watch him.
You want to get that as your left tackle. By the way, just real quick, almost all the linemen coming out this year are right tackles. So this is not the year to get your left tackle.
Right. That's
But
true.
it is a year to address your offensive line issues.
Unless you can get Caden Proctor. If he's sitting
Yeah,
there, you take him.
yeah. And
So
and
this
some of these right tackles can convert to left, but you don't want to do that too often, like unless they're real standout.
So another receiver had a big time was Chris Brazel. He's a wide receiver from
Hmm.
Tennessee. He's 6'4", 198. He's a little bit slim, and they say he needs to put on about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle in the pros. But the prediction was he was going to run a 4.47 and not be one of the fastest receivers. And instead, he pulls a 4.37 at 6'4", which is really incredible at that height.
Yeah.
And apparently, he just caught everything they threw at him in the combine. He just had really good hands. So this kid also really helped himself. Brazil moved up into probably second round position. So another guy, Malachi Lawrence, linebacker from UCF, 6'4", 253, kind of a tackling machine. They said that he's a poor man's Arvell Reese. So if you can't get Reese or David Bailey or one of the top guys, this is the kind of guy you can get in the second round and be really happy. Be a really productive pro.
Yeah, I heard them talking about how he's really unpredictable because the way he hits is so violent, and
Right.
he's a
Could,
really good
could get
player.
hurt. When did we start getting 6'4" linebackers and 6'4" corners? Like, when did this
I
happen?
know
It's crazy.
that
He's
can
really
run
tall.
like run like
Yeah,
Jameer Gibbs,
it's unbelievable.
hit and hit like you know Luke
He's a
Kuechly, and
6'4"
I
linebacker.
know
That's a big
I know.
linebacker. D'Angelo Pons had a really good time from Indiana. This is one of the guys that everyone kind of knew from the last couple games of the season as they won the championship. And
It's a very
he really
cornerback
showed up.
cornerback heavy draft. There's
Rob,
a lot of good corners.
he had a 43 and a half inch vertical in this combine.
Yeah.
At 5'9", he can jump
This
that
is more
high.
than NBA players, Tom.
I know. He can dunk easily from the foul line.
Yeah.
This guy's unbelievable, Pons.
Hmm.
Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh. He's 6', 220. He's a safety or linebacker. They think he might actually play safety in the NFL. He's a big hitter kind of guy, very sure tackler, has good coverage skills, and ran a 4.53 40, which according to most say that's a pretty good time for a safety linebacker combo.
Hmm.
He's got solid speed, and he really can jump and do all the physical things. So I think Kyle Lewis is another guy to watch. Really helped himself.
Hmm.
And then finally, the last guy he mentioned was Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina. He's a safety and another big hitter. He can also play nickel. So they think he might actually get drafted kind of third roundish and play nickel at first, but then work himself into a starting safety position. He's a big hitter, good coverage guy, ran a 4.440, really great athlete. Blew
You know
them
what I'm
away
looking
on
forward to?
project.
You know
Yep.
what I'm looking forward to in this draft is the good GMs are going to be still picking starters in the third, fourth, fifth
Fourth,
round.
fifth, sixth, you know,
Yeah,
some of these
and
guys.
and then the bad GMs are going to be trading up for some bust wide receiver or something.
Exactly. Yeah, this is where the guys really stars on draft day. I mean, this
Yeah.
guy Kilgore, you get this guy in like the fourth round. Maybe he starts
Uh,
at nickel the first 4 or 5 weeks, but he's going to be a starter. I mean, he's
when
that
you have
good.
this much talent in all these position groups and you're a good GM and you do your homework, you are salivating. You can't wait to draft because you're going to hit a home run on every single pick.
Robbie, how much fun would you have if you were a GM in the NFL
I
on
love it.
draft
I think it's so fun.
day? Any other guys you want to call out on the combine before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, so many. Keldrick Falk, you already talked about. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end. I already talked about him, but I can't stress it enough. He had the greatest combine ever by a tight end. It's worth mentioning. There's another player, Dylan Thieneman, who just jumped off the page, probably helped himself more than any other player in the combine. He
Hmm.
is a safety from Oregon. 6 foot, 201 pound safety. He
Hmm.
has a 31 and 3/8 inch wingspan. Um, and he ran a 4.3540 and has a 41-inch vertical. And
Hmm.
he was just jumping off the page at all the scouts. They were talking about him nonstop. He
You already
transferred
mentioned
from Purdue,
you
from
already
Purdue,
mentioned the other Oregon guy, Sadiq, who had a freakishly great camp
correct.
as well.
He played with Sadiq. He transferred from Purdue, and they were commenting on how smart he is. So you might be looking at sort of a Luke Kuechly style safety who is the cerebral, athletic, animal that just flips on a switch when he goes on the field. I think this guy is going to be a star, the Animan.
I think you're right.
But so many other players. I mean,
True.
just so
There's,
many linemen. Markel Bell from Miami, 6'9", 346. He ran a
hmm
5.3640.
hmm
Big man was moving. I mean,
He really was.
really good players in this draft, really good athletes who are going to translate to the next level. A lot of good edge rushers. Um, Players we've been waiting to come out for a long time. Caleb Downs, for instance. Uh,
Hmm.
and, and there was this guy, Jennings Dunker. You hear about this guy,
I
lineman
have, yeah.
from Iowa? He had this red mullet that was absolutely hilarious. And they showed his 40 in slow motion, and the mullet was going back and forth, and he became kind of a star of of
Yeah.
the uh, the punditry class. He ran a 5.1940, pretty good for a lineman. They
You know,
talked about how he baled hay in Iowa. He's just farm boy strength. Just incredible. But a
I
lot
was
of good
watching
linemen.
I was
Bob
watching the
Fano.
combine. I was watching the combine, Robbie, thinking to myself, the guy who comes in as the 15th best wide receiver or the 15th best cornerback or the 15th best linebacker or lineman, that those guys, if you watched them in the combine, they're still freakish athletes, even if they're like
Yeah,
the 15th. Yeah. It's
yeah, they're
insane.
incredible.
Yeah.
Some of
Absolutely
these
insane.
guys, they show them like running track and stuff, like 6'5", 290 running track. Like what?
Just
But
freakish.
yeah, Spencer Fano, Chase Bisnatis, and Caden McDonald,
Hmm.
incredible lineman prospects. Basically, there's no excuse for not getting all your position needs met in this draft because there's so many good players.
If you don't, you should be fired as a GM because there's that
Yeah,
much talent. Yeah. Hmm.
Malagoa
Hmm.
for Miami,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I
So
mentioned
pretty
him.
good
He's
wide
good.
receivers. I'd say that might be one of the weaker position groups this
Yep,
year. They said that that's going to be very different next year. It's going to be an incredible skill position draft next year. But I think there's just so much talent in this one.
I agree.
Akeem Mesidor, they're saying that they believe they're predicting that he might be um, actually better than Bain.
There were times this season he looked better than Bain. There were several
Yeah,
games where he was just absolutely dominant.
he
Mesidor's
has a higher
fantastic.
motor. He never takes the play
Yeah.
off. He has longer arms.
Hmm.
He's heavier and he's got more. He's got a little more edge to him. He's
I
it's
I
kind of
think
a
I think Bain's
yeah.
gonna be a very productive player too, though.
I
He's
do
got
too.
yeah.
I do.
Let's move to the NASCAR and talk about Michael Jordan's team that is completely dominant coming out of the gates this season. Nobody saw this coming. You can see a great picture there to the top left of his 23 car they did as a memorial to him. His driver, though, of course, as you see there in the bottom, drives the 45 car, and that's Tyler Reddick is his driver. And you see to the left there him totally jubilant after winning the first three races of the season. First time this has ever happened for any team happening here in 2026. So they won the Daytona 500. You mentioned how remarkable that was, that the
Yeah.
first race of the year, Michael Jordan wins it. Then they win in Atlanta, and then they win in the Circuit of the Americas. So Michael Jordan co-owns this NASCAR team, 23XI Racing, with current Joe Gibbs Racing driver Denny Hamlin. They founded this team in 2020, and the team competes in the NASCAR Cup Series with drivers Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. So he's got two drivers. And Hamlin acts as the mastermind behind the team operations, and apparently he works on design of the cars. And obviously, as a driver, that really helps. And Michael Jordan joked that he provides ownership and funding.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So,
sure.
what is your take on this remarkable partnership that Hamlin and Jordan have put together here?
I just want to know, can Jordan get in a car?
I doubt it.
I doubt
I
it
doubt
too.
it. Yeah.
It's an impressive thing what he's doing. This is not a small feat. I mean, there's no such thing as dominating at this level in NASCAR.
Right.
It's
It doesn't happen.
you
Yeah.
win a race or two a year or something, not three in a row.
And they're usually like 15 weeks apart or something.
Mhm.
Not three straight. Yeah.
You win points because you came in third one race, seventh another, first one race, and then third again or something. You
You
don't
know,
win them
he
all.
they asked him in an interview, not only has Hamlin been fantastic in design of the cars, but he said that the crew that they've put together, the pit crew, is the
Yeah,
best in the business. And he said, I know that sounds arrogant, but he said, we went and stole some of the best from all the different teams and just paid them a little bit more. And he
yeah,
said, we've assembled the best pit crew by far. And he said that
yeah. And
really makes a difference in this sport, makes a huge difference.
now imagine the money rolling back in, sponsorships.
Right. It's interesting. This event, Robbie, people have noticed in all the other sports worlds. So you had Magic Johnson commented on it. You had Tom Brady commented on it. All the
Yeah,
greats in all the sports have all been congratulating Michael this week about what an incredible job he and his team are doing
it's an
in
incredible
dominating
crossover
dominating the
story,
sport. Yeah, so going to be really fun to watch Reddick and Bubba Wallace this year and see kind of how many of these races can they rack up. It's gonna be really fun
Yeah,
to watch. You think this is going to bring a little more eyeballs to the sport?
I do. I
It's
do.
been kind of
It'll
struggling
bring
lately.
Jordan fans, it'll bring basketball fans. It'll bring NASCAR needs a little jolt. They need to bring back the majority of people who've kind of moved away from it. It seems like they were on a roll there for a while with there were a lot of stars that were really well branded, coupled with they came out with Speed Street was a huge thing in Charlotte. They came out with the movie Cars. It
Hmm.
felt like that was sort of like one of the glory days. There were different periods of time where NASCAR was really, really big.
It's
And
true.
I think it's kind of down right now. I think it needs this shot in the arm from people who are willing to follow their one of their basketball heroes into the sport and kind of settle in and watch some races and get into it a
NASCAR
little bit.
definitely needs it. It's been slipping for many, many years,
Yeah,
and people who are casual fans like you and me, for instance, are going to want to start watching now. We want to see this 45 car and really Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin team and see how they do this year. So
Yeah, maybe we can take the boys to the Coca-Cola 600.
why not? Why
Yeah,
not? Is
that'd
there
be cool.
anything Michael Jordan isn't good at? That's
I
what I
don't
want to
know
know.
because I know he's good at baseball and golf. So
Yeah.
I've heard he's really good at ping pong. Like I don't think he's bad at anything.
He said he's having more fun than he's had in many, many years. He just flies out on his private jet, goes to the
Yeah,
race, they win. He gets to congratulate the crew and then, go to his yacht. So
yeah, and party and have fun.
been fun to watch. So guys, watch this all season. Let's see how they do. Let's look at college basketball. We'll lead off with one that was really hard for us to watch as Virginia fans. The Saturday lineup at noon led off with a 77-51 drubbing at Cameron Indoor in Durham. This was a game that we all were looking forward to because Virginia had really been on a roll. They were sitting at 13-2 in the ACC, and they had really just been crushing everybody they played. And we wanted to see as a measuring stick how they measured up against the number one team in the country. And I think we found out. They really, Duke, I think, is known for their scoring, but that's not what makes them great this year. What makes them great this year is their defense. And they were just
Yeah,
absolutely mothering. They looked like a Tony Bennett kind of pack line defense type situation. We could barely get shots off in this game.
I agree with you on the defense, but I think they're just well-rounded. They have it all. They have all of it. They have scoring,
Yeah.
they have lockdown defense, they have intimidation, they have physicality, they have different ways of beating you. They can hit the three, but they can go inside, they can do mid-range, they can just make you pay, they can run and gun,
Yeah.
they have different guys step up. They're not
They
just a
they
one-man team.
altered. Virginia usually imposes its will on its opponents this year. I mean, they really do. And Duke completely altered the way Virginia played
Yeah.
offense in this game. And
And
that's unusual.
Duke just blew
Yeah.
out NC State last night. I mean, this is not a fluke. They're really a
Mm.
good team.
So what is your take on this game? Is it that Duke is that good? Is it that Virginia wasn't ready for it? Was it that Virginia just had a poor shooting night?
There's no
What do you
doubt
take
that
out of this game?
Duke's the best team in the country, I think, along with Arizona. And I think they caught Virginia feeling a little bit too good about themselves. And it was at Duke in a really tough environment to play in. So hats off to Duke. Their defense caused a lot of those misses and no follow-up rebounds and second chances. So Virginia just did not play well. Duke played well, and Duke looked like a much better team than Virginia, which I don't know that they're much better. They played much better.
This
Um,
goes to my theory that the top 10 teams are just different than everybody else this year. I really believe
it's
that. I
it
feel like
seems like there's some
concentration.
separation happening, which
Yeah,
is nice.
I do.
Doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you're not beatable, especially in the first
No,
couple rounds of the tournament. But um, yeah, Duke's right there with Arizona, I
we
think.
wanted to know how we would be against one of those top teams, and we found out. And Virginia has a long way to go, even though it's had a really nice season, to be kind of in that top five area.
I will tell you one thing to be wary of. I don't trust teams that have a lot of freshmen on them in the tournament.
I
It
agree with
seems
that.
like they always cave in mentally. If they're down by four with 2 minutes left, they just kind of panic and start throwing up bad shots and then get into foul trouble and da, da, da.
If
It's I think it's a big disadvantage to have so many freshmen when you're in the tournament. So I'd rather be Tom Izzo with all these fifth year seniors who are 260 pounds solid muscle guys than I would some freshman phenom who looked good all year but caves under the pressure in the tournament. Um,
if these two
just
teams
generally
met, if these two teams met 10 times on a neutral court, how many do you think Virginia would win? Realistically, neutral court.
one or two,
I'd say two. I think they go 2-8.
no more than two.
I think Duke is just that much better. That's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me.
If they were shooting well one night and the defense
Can
wasn't quite there,
Could Virginia
anything could
beat them
happen.
on a neutral court in the final of the ACC tournament? Possibly. It could be like a 75-73 situation where they play like the game of their lives kind of thing.
80% chance they don't.
Yeah. No, I
Or
know. I
higher.
agree. I agree. So the second best team in the country absolutely dismantles a very good Kansas team, 84-61, and is
Same kind of thing.
is the second team I think that looks really unbeatable right now. I know they had lost 2 in a row a couple of weeks ago, and there was some talk about them not being the best team in the country. But I think that, if you had a Duke-Arizona final in the tournament, it would get very high ratings. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
These are two
Tom,
incredible
we were
teams.
watching that this weekend in the mountains, and I looked at you or you looked at me, I don't remember who, and we said, man, that looks a lot like the Duke Virginia game. Like
It
the way
does,
it was going, just
because Kansas is a
it,
very good team and Virginia's a very good team. It
right.
really,
The way the one team was just clearly better than the other and
yeah,
sort of just rubbing their nose in it. It was
yeah.
separation for sure.
These top 10 teams look like they're ready for the tournament. They're ready
Yeah.
for their tournament tested. Texas Tech surprisingly takes out Iowa State, who had been having a really nice roll lately. 82-73 in a really tough contested game in the Big 12. Maybe one of the more surprising results of the weekend. Really good game, though. Both of these teams will be tournament bound. Any
Mhm.
thoughts on that game? And, I kind of expected Iowa State to come out on top.
I actually saw a good amount of this. I think Texas Tech is kind of underrated a little bit.
I think they're legit.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think they're a very
Mm-hmm.
good team.
Yeah.
I think they're somewhere around 10 or 12. And
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State was tough. They kept trying to answer, but they didn't quite have enough.
Mm-hmm.
Very good game. And it was closer than the other ones. But
Completely agree. Yeah, that was a great game, though. It's a really good matchup.
mhm.
Feels like tournament time. So another
Yeah.
team that looks like they're ready for the Final Four, and they seem to go to the Final Four every single year with their coach Kelvin Sampson. That is Houston.
Hmm. Hmm.
Demolishes Colorado, 102-62. It looked
Yeah, it's
like
wild. When I think of Houston, I think of defense.
I know, and they can
And
really score this year.
to watch them score 102, that's something.
Yeah, and they did hold Colorado down to a really low
Hmm.
percentage. So
Hmm.
Houston's scary, man. I don't know if I want to play them anytime in the tournament.
No,
They're a really good team.
they're an experienced tournament team, good defense. They're a problem.
That's right. Another team that's a big problem, has a great coach and a great coaching staff, and is always good is UConn. And they look like they're really rounding into shape now, getting ready for tournament season. They go to 27-3 and 17-2 in the Big East with a win over Seton Hall.
Yeah.
So that's another team you don't want to face in the tournament is UConn.
I just think a whole lot of Dan Hurley, and I think that
Me
the
too.
way he gets the most out of his players is just really impressive.
And they just reload every year, even when they lose big time recruits to the NBA. They just reload.
Yeah.
So Florida may be the fourth team to me that is so scary. I think it's Duke,
Yeah.
Arizona, Houston, and Florida. I think Florida just looks better and better and better every week. They win 111-77 against Arkansas.
Yeah.
Rob, this is not the NBA. What do you think
Hawk
about
is one of my favorite players in college basketball.
what do you
I
think
think
of Florida right
they're
now?
they're
It's just,
good.
man, they're getting better.
Not to mention they're getting Giroux a little playing time.
Yeah,
So
I
he might
noticed
be
your
ready
boys
by
were talking
next
about
year.
I noticed your boys were talking about Florida. I think they're kind of interested in the 7-9
They're,
guy.
they're fascinated by Giroux, seven
Yeah,
nine, and
yeah.
that's obviously something they have trouble getting their mind around. But I do
They
too.
they go to 14-2 in the SEC, and they have a legitimate shot of winning the SEC outright and keep moving up, keep moving up. It looks like they're going to end up the season probably around number 5. So I don't know. They're the fourth team for me that looks
They
really
have a
scary.
lot of experience. You can't
They
count them
do.
out. I wouldn't want to play Florida.
No. I wonder what the score would be, Florida, Houston.
Mm,
So St. Mary's upsets Gonzaga. This is
that was
always a
surprising.
battle. And
That
and
that was a
Gonzaga,
surprise.
when they lose, it's usually to a team like St. Mary's. It's in their conference, knows them really, really well. Both of them are going
Yeah,
to go to the tournament. They're both really, really good programs.
yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
the only thing surprising here was Gonzaga being held to 59 points. They had kind of an
Yeah,
off shooting night.
I, I would know. I would think that this would be a good matchup and that it would be close the whole time, and that Gonzaga would kind of pull it out at the end. I'm surprised that St. Mary's played that well, but
St. Mary's is the kind of
you
team
know,
that could knock you off in the second round of the tournament. Like
yeah,
they
it's
have
a
that
tournament
capability.
team, so they're always in the tournament.
they're kind of like giant killers. Like they can knock somebody off with a three or something at the end.
Hmm.
I could see it. Nebraska wins again. They've had a really great year in the Big Ten. They're 14-4 in the Big Ten now, 82-67 over USC. They're looking like they're ready for the tournament as well. One of the better Big Ten teams. You have St. John's over Villanova. This is the game after St. John's lost by 20 points. They come back with a vengeance, very angry about how they played, and they win by 32 in this one. And Patino was saying that he really lit into the team this week after that really embarrassing loss last week.
Yeah,
And
I bet.
that they practiced very hard this week. So looks like St. John's is starting to get themselves back together. They're 16-2 in the Big East now. So another team that's going to make some noise, I think. Alabama in the Battle of the SEC, two really good tournament teams, takes it 71-69 over a good Tennessee team. That's a really fun SEC battle there. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts about that one?
Oh, it's a great matchup. I mean, even though they're in conference, the quality looks like a tournament team.
You do.
Uh, Teams playing each other, that kind
Mhm.
of a matchup of um, just real high level basketball.
I do think March Madness is going to be pretty exciting this year. I really
Yeah,
do.
it should be good.
Oh,
All this NIL keeping those players
yeah.
in school. It's fantastic product.
It's a lot of good players this year.
Yeah.
So final game we'll look at is North Carolina knocks off the Hokies 89-82. Carolina really has been coming on strong at the end of the year. They've gone to 13-5 now in the ACC. They're tied for third in the ACC now, and they really had a poor start to the season. So it feels like
Yeah,
Carolina's starting to come around now and they're starting to gel and starting to beat
I
people.
think so.
Yeah.
They look better.
Yep. So they're sitting at 18 right now nationally, but really are starting to come on. So those
Mhm.
are your key games from the weekend.
That was a
Here's
great
your
weekend.
AP top 25 coming out of the weekend. Virginia drops 2 spots to 13. You have Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn, Florida, Iowa State, Houston, Michigan State, Nebraska, Texas Tech. So that's your top 10. Any thoughts about that? Florida all the way up to
Nebraska being in there is unusual.
they went up a couple spots. Florida went up a couple
Yeah.
spots. Virginia dropped 2, of course, because of their loss to Duke. And look, if you look at who's behind Virginia, there's a lot of great teams. You got Kansas and
Yeah.
Purdue and Alabama, North
Alabama and
Carolina,
Carolina.
St. John's, St. Mary's is down there. Miami's been playing really well.
Yeah, there's definitely some nice matchups coming in the tournament.
Yeah, it is. This is fun. I think it's a
Yeah.
really, really good group this year. So looking at the NBA, you got the Hornets won again. They're almost to 500
Nice.
now, 30-31. And you had Con Canupel break the all-time record for rookies for three-pointers, and he's got 19 games left.
And they moved up into the slot for wild card
That's right. That's right.
at the
Yeah,
moment. So
and they keep
that's
moving up.
nice because the last time I looked, they were below that line. They weren't lined up for it. So
That's right.
they would get wild card if it happened today.
They're playing so well. What do you think about the Con Canupel record? I mean, that has been talked about. He's probably the rookie of the year this year. He's playing better
I
than
think he's rookie of the year, and I think the
Yeah.
only competition he has is his teammate,
Cooper
his
Flag.
old teammate
Yeah,
from Duke. Yeah,
that's right. And they'll probably give it to Flag just because he's such a sexy pick or whatever. But
brand. Yeah, he's such a
I
brand.
think Canupel should get it. I think.
Well, no, I think Knupel could get it.
So the Heat knock off the Rockets in kind of a surprise. Rockets have been playing really well. This was their first loss in a while. Didn't shoot particularly well, but Heat actually get this one done. The
Heat are tough.
Raptors, Cole Houck's team, the Raptors
Mhm.
take down the Wizards in a really high scoring affair, 134-125. I guess the new look Wizards. So Raptors look like they're playing pretty well right now. The Lakers win 129-101 against the Warriors. You had the LeBron versus Steph Curry matchup. And interesting comment here in some of the papers. Lakers started 15-4 when LeBron was not playing. And around ball movement, pace, defense, and defined roles, just Luka and Reeves running the show, and the team looked substantially better and connected. Since LeBron has returned, the offense has slowed, defense has slipped, and chemistry everyone saw early has suddenly vanished. And the Lakers generally are not playing as well. So what is your thought about this commentary coming out of the NBA.com opinion piece?
I think it's interesting. I mean, the fact that they might not play as well with LeBron, that's hard to even fathom 2 years ago. I mean, it's an end of an era, really.
It is. But can you really say you're better without one of the greatest of all time? And
I don't
even if
know.
it's
I don't
last season,
know.
he's playing like a top 20 player still.
It's playing fine. It's just
There's
they're not
something
getting
about
the
the
results when
chemistry.
he's on the floor. The
There's something
chemistry's
about
off.
the chemistry. Yeah, it's really strange. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's between him and Luca or him and Reeves, but yeah, there's something about that dynamic that doesn't work as well.
I think Don I think Luca and Reeves chemistry changes when there's such a strong magnet of attention on the floor with them.
You got to share the ball in
Yeah,
more
so
directions.
they
You
have
know?
more trouble with their connection.
Yeah. I'd love to hear from everybody listening tonight. Drop us a comment if you think, the time has come for the Lakers to truly move on from LeBron one way or another. And would it possibly be better if he wasn't in the starting lineup? I can't believe we're even saying that, but it's possible. So Knicks knock off the Spurs in a really surprising contest. Spurs only get 89 points. The Knicks have been playing really well lately, Robbie.
Yeah, they're
Especially
really good.
their backcourt is really good.
Yeah.
So, and they
They're
really
breathing down Boston's neck.
they are and they found a way to slow down Wemby, and it was just an
Yeah,
interesting night where Spurs couldn't do much.
that's a big win right there.
It is, it really is. Cavaliers take down the Nets. Nets are a really horrific team. Cavaliers are still
Yes.
trying to gel with their new James Harden-led team and still pulling it together, but they have gone 4-1 since he joined. So seems to be
Yeah,
working so
so it's
far. Yep.
working at the moment.
The Bucks get embarrassed against the Bulls. The Bulls have been playing a little better lately. They're trying to make a push into the play-in tournament, see if they can get it done. The Timberwolves knock off the Nuggets in a really high-powered Western matchup. These are two teams that might possibly actually face each other in a series coming up very soon. You mentioned the Timberwolves shouldn't be written off, even though they were sitting in sixth.
Hmm.
And they've been looking a little better ever
Yeah,
since the
they're in
All-Star
fourth
break.
now. They're
Yeah,
they're solidly in the playoffs.
yeah, that's right. So they might be making their little run. Pistons win again with Cade Cunningham, 106-92. They just look like by far the best team in the East right now.
Yeah.
Really, their losses are few and far between.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
they get steamrolled by the West. I think they could hang.
they might be able to win a game or two. I still think the West wins a 7-game series, but yeah, they could make it competitive. Celtics win again, look clearly like the second team, although, like you said, they're being pushed by the Knicks right now.
Yeah.
The Thunder win in a low-scoring contest where SGA did not play the first game he's missed this year. Took the night off in a back-to-back, and they
Hmm.
still win against a pretty poor Mavericks team. I kind of feel bad for Cooper Flag right now. They just
Yeah.
they just can't do very much. Lakers
Yeah. It's
win a
tough.
back-to-back on Sunday, so they beat the Warriors on Saturday. They beat the Kings on Sunday. So trying to get themselves into playoff shape right now, winning a back-to-back. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, the Lakers are a good team. I think they sputter sometimes. I think the chemistry goes off when LeBron's back in the game. But I mean, Reeves and Doncic are very good players, and you add them with LeBron, and if they can get their defense worked out, they're good.
And they got
They're
Ayton
a very
as
good
center. I
team.
mean, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton. Yeah,
Mm.
it's just they're defensively, they have weaknesses, so that's their problem.
Although you look at who they beat in these back-to-backs, the Warriors are just kind of okay. They're 31-29. They're just kind of a 500 team. And then the Kings are the worst team in the West by far.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
So
I
don't
mean,
get too excited.
yeah, it's great to win back-to-back, but against pretty poor competition. So,
Temper it a little.
Clippers absolutely destroy the other worst team in the West, the Pelicans, 137
Yeah, that.
117. The Clippers are trying to solidify their playoff position. They've been kind of flirting with the play-in tournament, and they don't want to go there. So
Yeah.
they've been doing a pretty good job. Well, Robbie, I'm going to hand it to you for the mailbag, but first, let me just say, looking at this really cool graphic, if you combine football and basketball, the most combined appearances at number one in the AP poll. If you look at all the teams, you're combining the two sports. And you have Ohio State 1, Duke 2, Alabama 3, UCLA 4. And then you see UK, UNC, OU, Notre Dame, all the big names you can see there in the top, all the way down to Miami, Michigan. And then all the way down the very bottom, University of Virginia Cavaliers at 20. So what are your thoughts about all these power conferences and programs?
I think it's blue bloods was always the rule, and then you sprinkle in some surprises. I think Notre Dame is a surprise. Um,
I don't really think so because they've had so many years in football at number one. So they're being mostly pulled by football.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're always at the top, but I don't know about number one, but I guess
Virginia's
so.
only been number one once in football, so they've been number one 19 times in
Right,
basketball. So,
right.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, most of this makes sense, you know.
Does UNC surprise you being all the way up there? 114?
Georgetown being up there is
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It really is looking at this. I'm going to hand it to you, man.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do it. First of all, I'd like to say how funny it was at my work yesterday. We had a meeting where we talked to everybody about use of cell phones, and the students that I work with were on their cell phones, and I came around a corner, and three of them were on their phone, and they were all showing each other something. And I said, "Hey guys, we got to put those away." And they all flashed them straight out to me and showed me that they were watching our podcast.
Were
It
they
was
really?
pretty, yeah, it was
Oh,
pretty
that's cool.
funny. I was embarrassed. It was weird because I thought, no, that didn't go how I thought it was gonna go. I thought they're gonna be like, we're so sorry.
Yeah,
Instead,
that's
they
cool.
they they're watching the Sports Guys. So hats off
Fantastic.
to you guys. Sorry I had to make you put your phones away, but I appreciate the support and thinking about you guys right now.
I made that call out.
Yeah, yeah. So, a lot of good comments about the Olympic wrap-up segment. Here's one, episode 115, a must-watch wrap-up. Amazing breakdown and analysis as always at Robert Legan.
And thanks, Robert. Yeah, we did our best job, and that was a lot of fun. And I have to say, I wanted to compliment all of you watchers because we got 67,000 views on that episode, which
Yeah,
Rob and I
real
were
good.
completely stunned about. And so, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for the comment, Robert.
Yeah, we love that. And here's one. Fire. This was a perfect way to close out Milano Cortina 2026. What a legendary Winter Olympics at Justin Michael.
Hey, thanks, Justin. We appreciate it. Yeah, it was legendary. We had so much fun with that Olympics and covering it, and glad you liked the episode.
Okay, Milano Cortina set a new standard for Winter Olympics presentation and innovation at Philly Fuge.
Hey, thanks, Philly. Yeah, it really was fantastic. I think what he's referring to there, Robbie, is our slide we did on technology. And there really was a lot of cool technological advances at this Olympics, all the different camera angles we've
Oh
never
yeah,
seen before. So yeah, it was
camera
cool.
angles, camera equipment, all the use of drones was dramatically higher than I've ever seen it before. We there was new events that used new equipment like skeleton that had been around for 50 years. Watch
Mm-hmm.
the episode and we cover a lot of it, but it was pretty cool to go along with all of these different elements
It
and
was.
such a good visual way to present it. And last one, what an amazing event it was. Thanks for your coverage of it, guys. That was from DPT Coaching Channel.
That's great. Yeah, thanks so much, Rick. He's one of our regular
That's our
watchers.
friend
We
Rick.
appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks to all of you guys who drop us comments. We love it, and we love reading it on the air. And we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, we always love reading your thoughts. You usually have such intelligent things to say and sort of new ways for us to look at what we're doing. We really appreciate the support. Thanks for taking the time to make a comment and to watch what we do. I really, really appreciate it. And we're just having a blast. So hopefully you are too, whether you're riding in your car or getting ready in your bathroom for work or whatever when you watch our podcast. Thanks for doing that. We really, really appreciate it. And that's the mailbag.
Well, Robbie, another week down of great sports. We enjoyed every minute of it. I did want to do a call out here to our boy Jackson Moore, who today committed to the Ole Miss Rebels to go be a field goal kicker for them. Going to be going back to the SEC and going to that program that was just in the final game last year. So really exciting for Jackson. So Jackson, congratulations. And
Good
we
job,
look
Jackson.
forward to seeing you play in Ole Miss next year. Any other thoughts, Robbie, heading into another packed weekend of sports? We only have a couple weeks left, and then the ACC tournament and other big tournaments are starting here shortly.
Well, just there is so much sports going on. Hopefully, everybody can find a way to take it all in, and hopefully, our episodes help you a little bit. Love the Olympics and followed it straight into all this different, you know, NHL, NBA raging away, getting us closer to the playoffs. The NASCAR, the just a lot of great stuff, and we're so glad to be covering it, and it's gonna just keep getting better because March Madness is right around the corner.
Just think we're 8 days away from the ACC tournament, and
Yeah,
we're 2 weeks away from the NCAA tournament kicking off on a Thursday. So it's going to go really fast now. So we're going to have to get
yeah,
ourselves into college basketball mode.
yeah. We're so excited about all the different stuff coming. One we've talked about it one time. We were like, do we have content ready to go going forward? In the future. And there's so much content coming our way that you can't even contemplate running out of stuff to talk about. So much
That's
good
true.
stuff. And that's why we do it, is because it's fun.
It's exciting. It's fun. Guys,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to DoorDash, our first-time sponsor. We're really happy to have you on board.
Yeah,
And
they're awesome.
we're really excited about where we're going, and we have a lot of great content coming your way.
Yeah. Thanks again.
And share the podcast with a friend. We'd really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time on the Sports Guyz. Take care.
See you.